President Trump certainly playing the commander-in-chief today as the leaders of Israel and Ukraine were both in the White House for back-to-back meetings. No press for Bibi and Netanyahu. They both entered through the side door of the White House, and Donald Trump had a stacked team ready for secret and private meetings. All we got was a photograph. What did they discuss? Both nations at war with Russia and Iran, respectively. Everyone in a Mexican standoff firing squad with America right in the middle saying, nope, 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 to the Velociraptors. That was President Trump today. It seems like he's trying to unwind these conflicts. We'll see. Trump telling Axios, I'm ready for strong military action if the Iran talks fail. He tells Fox News this morning that he's ready to blow Iran back to the Stone Age.
To rebuild. And if I go back and finish up the job, as some people would like, with the bridges, with the very easy. I could take out most of their bridges in less than an hour. Less than an hour. But, you know, it takes them 10 years to build a bridge. Bridges take the longest, and power plants are second. I can knock out the power plants. Within one day, all of their power plants would be gone.
So Donald Trump saying, you know, get ready. It's time for caveman Trump if you don't finish your talks and we don't have a lasting peace. Donald Trump saying we've had some very good talks with the Iranians, and then snapping at Bibi Netanyahu, scolding Bibi Netanyahu for leaking their plans and trying to keep him in the war, berating him on Fox News right here. Very interesting.
Pickaxe Mountain, how will we respond?
Well, I don't need Bibi to tell me that. Bibi's telling me that because he wants me to stay involved.
Donald Trump saying Bibi wants me to stay in the war. And Donald Trump is very much looking to try and decouple from this war. Bibi at the funeral, Bibi being welcomed into the side door there in the Oval Office. J.D. Vance, not a huge fan of this conflict. Here's a close-up of Zelensky, never wearing a tie, this guy. Never wearing a suit. Yeah, both leaders. And here are the photos, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you have Bassett here, you have Rubio, you have Vance, and you have Witkoff, Pete Hegseth, of course, there for the meetings. So while these meetings were going on, everybody was sort of wondering, well, does this mean a lasting peace? Mediators say the proposal to revive the U.S.-Iran MOU is close. It awaits Trump's final decision. Pakistan, Egypt, and Qatar are involved in advancing the plan. And Iran and Oman have already approved a proposal that would allow negotiations to begin again and for them to control effectively the Strait of Hormuz. Oil just crashed down below $80, and the 10-year is now at 4.5%. The U.S. was supposed to strike on Friday, but Trump shut down all of the plans for the attacks. So it seems like there's been a spiraling of de-escalation in a good way, right? And we'll see. The Trump administration believe that sustained economic pressure may ultimately inflict more damage on Iran than bombing campaigns. According to Axios, U.S. officials cite intelligence indicating Iran is struggling to fund proxy forces facing gasoline shortages and under increasing financial pressure, led by sanctions by Scott Bassett. Officials argue that economic measures are better than the actual physical war strikes. Interesting. Iran continues to seek sanctions relief and access to frozen assets, meaning they're desperate for cash. Okay. Trump concluded meetings with Zelensky and Netanyahu. Both meetings were positive and productive, says Caroline Levitt today at approximately 12:30 this afternoon. And then 1 hour later, Iran decides to bomb an American base. Great. Here we go. Infographic on tonight's strike on the U.S. base in Jordan, approximately 3 in the afternoon. Iran decided to launch from Khomeini. This is a base deep inside Iran, and hit the Mawaf Salti Air Force Base. This is going to be a very sore spot for the president and the administration. This is where 4 U.S. soldiers lost their lives in a surprise attack. Just like this, Iran launches missiles at U.S. base for the first time since Trump paused strikes. Iran launched multiple ballistic missiles towards U.S. military base in Jordan. All the missiles were intercepted, CENTCOM said in a statement. This marks Iran's first ballistic missile attack since President Trump decided to go the diplomacy route. The attacks threatened to unravel a fragile pause that could force Trump to decide whether to resume military action. Not much time, Trump said when asked how long he's willing to give the negotiations. Either it goes fast or not at all. CENTCOM said the forces attacked and launched missiles at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard launched missiles towards a U.S. base in the Middle East. All Iranian missiles were successfully intercepted. We are vigilant and at a high state of readiness. This is the first Iranian ballistic missile attack in the region since the pause, and you can see now the actual missiles themselves being intercepted. Here, it appears Iran fired the missiles. They were fired towards Jordan. You can see the missiles here flying in the sky. Okay. U.S. official tells Axios that Iran carried out the ballistic missile attack. Not to be a huge conspiracy theorist here, but what if Iran notified America that they were going to do this? And they said, hey, we're going to launch some missiles just save face with our people, just to show that we're still in the fight. And, here's where they're going. Here's when we're going to launch them. Here's what the tracking devices are on them. Just shoot them out of the sky. I don't know. The missiles were intercepted easily. Pray for the troops tonight. We'll see how President Trump responds. You can see here more footage of the missiles zipping through the sky. The launch from Iran follows several days of relatively quiet. 13 consecutive days of tit-for-tat strikes. It is unclear at this time the catalyst was maybe preemptive. There's a major disconnect between the IRGC and Iran's political negotiating team. We'll see. The IRGC tends to just kind of pop off without any thought or strategy. Senior official confirms Iranian ballistic missiles were fired. Footage shows at least 2 of the missiles reportedly destroyed by American air defenses. The reports tracing the salvo to 6 launches that came from Khomeini, Iran's interior. No impacts or casualties. Yet, launched from western Iran, it appears more coming. You can see here. Everybody has a shot of the missile, and you can see how deep inside of Iran it is. It's not too far from Tehran. It's closer to Tehran than it is to, let's say, the Persian Gulf. Now, some are saying there was an impact at the Salty Air Force Base, and that this puff of smoke or dirt or dust looks like one missile hit. But it's nothing compared to the large fireball strikes that we saw earlier. Footage of a missile strike at the U.S. military base in Jordan has been released, no longer waiting to be struck before responding. The problem with these kind of things that get posted right away is that you just don't know if it's old footage or not. So we'll see. The initial reports of that everything was shot out of the sky. That's what CENTCOM says. So I'm just going to go with CENTCOM for right now. Oil has jumped 5% right there. Oil zipped up a little bit because people are a little nervous about what's going to go on. Pray for peace. That's all I say. Pray for peace. Okay. Iran's current leadership is determined to set the pace for the confrontation rather than simply react to the decisions made by Washington. Tehran wants to demonstrate that it retains the initiative and can shape the escalation on its own terms. From Iran's perspective, the maritime blockade itself continues to be an act of war. Unlike previous crises, the current leadership appears unwilling to accept restrictions on maritime access. Yeah, we'll see. The broader message is clear. Iran is not signaling surrender, nor is it seeking negotiations from a position of weakness. On the contrary, the leadership appears to be prepared to accept considerable risk because it views this as a defining strategic confrontation over Iran's regional role and long term. Was this the battle for Trump to pick right now? As I would argue, there are just political realities to these things. And I don't like them. I don't like the increased gas prices. I don't like increased grocery prices or home prices or anything. I don't like how this is a drag on pretty much everyone's poll numbers. I don't like how the worst people on earth love this war and want it to continue. They want to hurt Trump and harm Trump using this war. And they get their bloody war and it's the dirty neocon fetish and fantasy. I don't like it. So I hope it gets wrapped up. And I hope you join me in praying for peace here. I don't want any more Americans coming home in flag-draped caskets. And I don't want our movement to be torn asunder by something that, frankly, is not really benefiting Americans, right? These are just the political realities of it, okay? And I'll leave the diplomacy for everybody else. I'll leave the international politics for everybody else. I'm just talking about life getting better for Americans. That's what we're about here, and that needs to be the end goal, the only goal. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section.